Hello everyone, I am Bhanu Prakash Nanda from Consultant Counsel, and today we have Kavya over here. Kavya is basically a chemical engineer and she had worked for Vedanta. So Kavya, can I know like what role were you like doing at Vedanta? Like what was your job profile, your responsibility?
Hello, Banu. How are you? Hi.
Hi Kavya.
Yeah. So basically, I'm a chemical engineer. I did my BTech from JNTU Hyderabad, and after BTech 4 years, I got a job placement in Vedanta. That's Vedanta Limited. I basically worked in an aluminium refinery, which is
Yeah,
almost in the outskirts of a city. So that is where I worked for almost 2 years.
yeah,
So coming to the job profile, I am a chemical engineer, so you'll be basically having two different profiles there. It can be either in a production department or process department. So
yeah,
in my stay there, I took up roles of both production as well as process engineering. So as a chemical engineer and being a girl in the chemical engineer, it will be mostly like you'll be handling the control systems or control rooms. So that would
yeah,
be the main role there. That was what I've worked with there. Control room is basically a place where you have like all types of screens and distributed control systems. So that
correct.
is where we control the whole plant. We can see the whole overview of the plant in front of us. So we'll be seeing the day-to-day running of the plant and then controlling all the parameters and setting the parameters. And it's basically coordination between the upper management and the area people.
Yeah.
So that is what the main role is as a chemical engineer.
Okay. Yeah, I can like imagine that control system, like which is the main, we can say, heart of the plant, where we can control all the things. Like yeah,
Yeah.
correct. So Kavya, one thing which I wanted to ask you, say basically, see, you cannot disagree that people say ki, like what is like there is no much future in chemical engineering. So people say like this. So why did you choose this particular field, like chemical engineering?
Yeah, that exactly. I also face many questions like that.
Yeah,
And being in India, we have not explored so much of options in this field, like chemical engineering field exactly. But
yeah,
abroad, when you see there are like great opportunities and everything, I think India is also moving towards that position where you have great positions, great opportunities being a chemical engineer too. So basically, in chemical engineering also there are like various fields. You name
yeah,
anything and then you see like it's a chemical engineer behind that. Like you take any field, be it petroleum field, be it pharmaceuticals, or be it refineries, be it anything, you name it and you need a chemical engineer in that field. So I think that is where we as a chemical engineers play a, it's like a silent role behind
yeah.
everything. Even like semiconductor field or anything, you see that you see many other engineers in the front line, but it's always the chemical engineers which work on the minor level and on the building level kind of thing. So that
Correct.
is where we play a important role, I guess.
So, like, how did you get into this? Like, any fascination, like anybody explained, or how did you know about this all things? Like, before
I
starting the,
think, yeah,
yeah,
I think the passion for learning engineering things and learning what is behind everything is always been there with me. And
yeah,
like even if you see like in the trains you go, you see big industries on the outskirts and all, and then you just wonder maybe someday I'll get a chance to work something there. So I think that was what kept me going. And then after inter, I wanted to take up a role where it's purely engineering and purely like you you know what's going on. You want to work where you know what's going on and the process and
yeah,
everything. That led to choose, I think, this chemical engineering field. And I would say that it's not only chemistry. Like people think that if you're
yeah,
interested in chemistry, you can take up this role, and but it's not that. You should be equally good in physics and mathematics also. And it's
correct.
not purely chemistry based or not purely sciences or anything. It's engineering and process and everything. So I think that interest should be there always, that passion to learn something, to learn from the root level where the
Hmm.
process starts. That's where we work with. The
Right.
finished product is something which we see outside, but the root level reactions or anything which goes from the basics, that is where we work with. So that
Okay.
passion should always be there to be a chemical engineer. That's what I feel.
Nice explanation, Kavya. So one important thing that which strike me is like as you said, like being a lady at there in a control plant. What are the problems you faced, like being a
Yeah.
chemical engineer that working in a plant like Vedanta? Yeah.
So it's not only Vedanta, it's with almost all the big industries.
Acha.
Now they are like inculcating a good environment where the ladies can also go and work. Why I'm specifically saying ladies is this industry is both physically and mentally challenging. There,
Okay.
and it's not like always like you'll be encouraged to work there, or the human psychology is always like that, that girls should be in a safe environment or away from dust or pollution or away from danger or anything like that. But
Exactly.
I as a personal experience, I would say you should always go out and explore yourself there, and there is a good environment there. You need to create your own space. That is what I've learned in this stay there. You always have to create your own space, be it
Yeah.
working in any space, anywhere. It's your responsibility that you stand out, you make a name for yourself there. So I think
Okay.
in industry, it's usually we see that it's male dominated, or you see that you don't get chances to go and work out in the field, like with
Yeah.
people or being there on the field. But this opportunity you don't get everywhere, and when you get it, you must surely use it. That is what I learned. Even if it was a control room job, I used to go out in the field, interact with people, learn with people. And
Yeah.
it's not just you as a chemical engineer, you get to work with people from mechanical, people from electrical, people from instrumentation, or even with the IT department. So that is
Exactly.
where you need to coordinate and learn. That's been a really great learning experience with working with so many different kind of people there. So that is what you need. I would suggest everyone, like people would say, being a girl, do you need to go so far and work, or work in so remote areas, or work? There are many constraints if you take it that way.
True.
But
Yeah.
I think that slowly the environment of inculcating the women in the industry is slowly coming up. I think
Yeah.
it's a good chance to be there. It's a good place to be there at the right moment at this point of time.
Yeah.
So that is what I learned so much there.
Exactly. I hope your answer clears all the stereotypes which have like present in
Yeah.
our minds. So, yeah, another thing, like as you said, like few industries, just you said mentioned, like it might be pharma industries. So, what more industries one can opt for? Like when he's like he wants to shift a little bit, explore something like related to chemical thing. What fields he can explore?
So basically, after the 4 years of chemical engineering, like the four
Yeah,
years of BTech, you would
yeah,
always have an option for going towards a research field or going towards industry field.
yeah,
There's always a chance of two ways. So if you
right,
go into the research field in India, you have IITs or NITs offering so many different types of courses and specializations in that field. But if
right,
you want an industry field of exposure where you can see that the things you have learned, like the subjects you have learned, put into action on the field. So you can take up the different industries, even in India. There are like many PSUs also, exactly. Like if you take
correct,
up GATE and you can join a PSU. So when you join a PSU, you will be working with a wide range of fields there. Like you have
correct,
ONGC, or you have BPCL, or you have many pharma companies. You have many
exactly,
PSUs working there. So that is a very good option to have a really good exposure towards the industry. And even in industry, they're like production field or a process. The process field is like where you design everything or you give the process parameters. And then you have R&D where you have development side. So if you have really good uh, grip on your subject, and you want to research more in the industry field, so you'll be having R&D field. So that is where people can explore even in the industry. It's not only being on field. So you would be even having simulation projects, or you would be having some what do you call it? It's like you will be working on a lab scale, and you will be then converting it into the big scale. So
Okay.
there are many projects. Yeah, we even have projects department in every company where you specifically work on new projects upcoming in the industry. So there are like many options even on the industry side. And if you go to the research side, there are like n number of options where you can explore
Exactly.
yourself and go into PhD and then do researching and then do teaching or anything like that. So it's a
Fun.
vast field to say.
Yeah, actually. Every field is vast. The important thing is like people cannot explore that, cannot know that. That's what makes the
Yeah,
difference.
that's right.
So yeah, coming to the final question, Kavya, any message for ones who are trying to pursue their career in chemical engineering, and someone also for someone who is actually a professional in chemical engineering?
Yeah, basically, I would only want to say that your career should be something which is always driving you towards good
Okay.
things in life. It should be not like someone is forcing you, or it should not be like, okay, I should do something in life, so I'll be doing this. So I think chemical engineer, you have lots of options to explore, and there's always a misconception in the industry that if you are in one particular field, you can't go into another thing, or you can't explore. Like if you are in the pharma, you need to continue doing it in the pharma or something like that. So don't keep that conception in your mind. Explore your options. Take up any role which is challenging, and you can work towards it. And people who want to like take up this chemical engineering field as a BTech degree or as a master's degree, I would always suggest that you should be passionate about it. You should be learning everything new, and the main thing is you need to connect with more people, interact with people from other fields also, and then try to take up everything and then go forward in life. It's because it's like interconnection of all the fields, right? So it's
Yeah.
not only like you talk only to your professor, you talk only to your guide or someone. You need to explore everything and learn from wherever you get. I think that is what keeps us driving forward, right?
Perfect. Perfect, Kavya. Rightly said.
Yeah,
Th- Thank you, Kavya, for giving our time and explaining the facts to people.
yeah. Thanks. I've always been thinking to like share my thoughts about this, and I think this is a good platform you've given me, and I will always be here to help you or guide anyone in this field.
Sure, Kavya. Sure. So, guys, so this was our interview with Kavya, a discussion with Kavya. So, if you need guidance in any platform, so you can contact us. We have mentors of different areas who can like guide you in that particular domain. So, thank you, Kavya.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.